Hey, I have 6 kids, and of all the things that I have done to work on my relationships with them, this one thing is the most effective. As my family has grown and we went from having just a few kids to having all the way up to 6 kids, I have found that spending time individually with each one every single week has been the absolute game changer when it comes to maintaining my relationships with them. How I do this is once a week, and I choose Sundays because it's a different day. It doesn't have the same rhythm, and I am also setting up my week on that day. So on Sundays, I will take time, usually 15 to 20 minutes with each kid, and I will sit down with them and I will just have time that is theirs to do whatever they want to do with it. We will play games together. Sometimes they really want me to read a book that's just their book, and so we will read a chapter out of that book every single week. But most often, we just talk about their week. We talk about what happened, what was good, what was bad, the high points, the low points, and usually the questions that I will ask, the one that I try to get to every single week is I ask, when is the last time you saw pornography? And this is a tough one, and the first time you ask it feels really, really hard. But then once you've gotten over that hump, it gets a lot easier. It is important to ask when and not if, because they're seeing it. It's everywhere. It's on billboards, it's on magazines, it's everywhere. They are seeing it. And if you say, have you, or did you, or is it possible that you, it sort of sets them up to have to confess to you. Whereas if you just say, when did you last see it? That takes that whole confession out of it. They no longer feel like they did something wrong by being exposed to something that they didn't even want to be exposed to, and it's a lot easier for them to say, yes, I did see something inappropriate. And then we take it from there and we say, okay, how did it make you feel? How did you respond to that? What did you do after the fact? And if you're interested in knowing how to deal with pornography, please let me know, because I don't know if YouTube's the best place to talk about it, but really quickly, the best thing you can do is to let them know that their body is the biggest defense, the biggest weapon they have against this, to stay out of your head. So if it's just images rotating in their head, the best thing they can do is get up and do something, exercise, talk to somebody, serve somebody, but get your body moving, and that is something that will really engage a power to overcome those thoughts and those images. So we cover that every single week. And I try not to spend too much time on that because I want them to know that the conversation is open and we're going to talk about this frequently, but I don't want it to be something they dread either. So that's a topic, we cover it every week, and then we move on. And then the next major thing that I cover with them is kind of a review and then a forecast of their week. So I will say, how was your last week? What was the best part of your last week? And what was the hardest part of your last week? What did you really struggle with? And then we'll do the same for the coming week. What are you looking forward to? What are you a little bit nervous about coming up in this week? And it's good for a couple of reasons. We can review what they did, so it kind of solidifies in their mind, what did I do last week? And we can also look forward in the week, what's coming up, because even though we plan as a family, I don't know that they always listen. So this is a moment that they can say, oh, that we're going to the park, that's exciting. I am looking forward to that. So it gives them kind of a preview of what's coming up, and that's helpful as well. One of the great benefits of this is that they will talk. They know that they can count on every week there will be at least 15 minutes where they have my undivided attention, and they can tell me things that they're struggling with, or that they are excited about, or that they really want to have happen. And so a lot of the times they will just go on their own. They will just chatter and tell me all about everything that's on their mind and everything that they've been thinking about. And I just sit and listen. Maybe I'll rub their back. Maybe I'll just sit there and make eye contact, whatever works for that particular child. I'm just there for them during that time period. But if there's ever a time when they really can't think of anything to say, or maybe they are feeling a little locked up, like they want to tell me something but they don't know how to start, I have a couple of questions that I will ask. I will just go into each part of their life and I will say, how's school? What's the best part of school? What's the hardest part of school? What are you learning in school? What's the thing that gets you up in the morning when it comes to school? How's piano? How's church? How's your activity group? How's your scouts? Whatever they happen to be involved in, I look at each one and I ask about those individually. And sometimes that's all they need to be able to start and say, oh yeah, I do have things going on in my life and I can talk about that. It is so true that kids and everybody really do not care about how much you know until they know how much you care. And this is the most effective thing that I have found to teach how much I care about each of my kids. I take that time every single week to just be with them individually, listening to their needs, meeting their needs on a verbal and a social level, but also letting them know that they are the most important thing to me in that moment. If you're struggling to connect with your kids, or if you just want to improve your relationship, I hope you try doing alone time with them once a week. It is by far the best thing that I have found to nurture those relationships. Thanks. Bye.